Hi, and welcome to another episode of Lie in Bed. And today I have a special guest with me. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Xaeviur, Xaeviur. I'm a local artist, a rapper. I've been working on music for 3 years and I'm super excited to be here.
I am so excited having you here, yeah. Thank you so much. And bringing the J too, dog.
Of course, I had to, just in case.
I know, and I was like, yeah, alright, we're speaking the same language.
Literally, I love it. I just smoked. I was like, yes, perfect.
Yes, me too.
Yes. I know, me too.
I was like, oh, I'm sorry if it smells like cannabis in here. And he's like, that's
like,
okay.
No, that's gonna make it so much better.
Yes.
No,
And so
literally.
I appreciate you so much being on here. And,
of course. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And getting to know people is something that is kind of why I started podcasting, is because so many times I have social media followers, or you have like there's hundreds of people that that follow you, or you follow back, and I feel like you don't know enough.
Yeah.
Like, and I love to interview people and get to know people and find out the why.
Heck yeah.
And so that's kind of like my objective today, is figure out how you really started this, and your journey into the rap scene.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and know more about who you are, right? Because we were talking before we started a little bit, and we were talking about how in music you are able to project your perspective and your views in a different way than in an interview.
Definitely. I think that it's really powerful through music because it's a lot more emotional, and it's like you're kind of taking away the other person, so you're like talking to yourself or talking to like the pad or the mic, and it's kind of interesting because that opens up the doors for so much more to like bleed through. And I never really like understood that or the depth of that until like I truly started rapping instead of like just writing. And I think, like you just said, it's really cool to actually have a conversation about it afterwards and be like able to explain like why I mentioned certain things, or why like the journey, like you mentioned. I really love that you mentioned that word, because honestly the journey is like so important, and honestly a lot of people don't understand why it's so important, and I think that's something awesome to talk about behind the music, because I mean, as much as you could say it in a song or something like that, it might not hit as much as it'd be like, yo, I was just like you, like doing the same thing, and then I was like, oh, I can do this, and
and then you find out like a lot of people get defeated.
Yes.
And or have an idea. They're like, man, this would be cool to do this, but they're like, oh man, I can't do this because I'm just this kind of person. I'm just a New Mexican. Like I was telling you before, off camera, we were like, oh yeah, I grew up on a chicken farm.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa. And it's like, yeah, I grew up, country, and grew up in a small town in northern New Mexico, and now I'm in Albuquerque, and I'm doing my thing. I'm business owner out here.
It's honestly pretty crazy to think about that. Like, we were talking about how Albuquerque is a mecca in full too, and my dad's stepdad is like a green chili farmer, so like it's crazy. Like, he kind of grew up on a farm too, and then like my brother grew up in Bosque Farm, so like it's kind of like having that dynamic between like that and then like what I thought was like living in the city, but it's not really like the same as other cities, but it kind of is, as much as like we want to deny it. It's like
there are city aspects of it.
Seriously.
And then you go from like being a small town person, who I was at one point, and the reason I moved here, and I tell people a lot of times, is because the opportunities at the time when I lived in the area I lived was like you could become a nurse, or you could be a home mom.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do either of those things. I don't really like blood.
Oh yeah.
And I have 3 kids, and so I'm already a mom.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I want to do something more. And so my big city dreams, like I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go out there and do something. And so for me, it's been extremely beneficial.
See, that's awesome, and I love hearing that it's rewarding to come here in the aspect of a big city dream, because it's crazy to hear like some of the people that grew up here, like in the city, like don't see the city as like a big city, and it's like it's sad, because I mean, I get it. I mean, I grew up here too, but we're so close, and like we have everything we need. It's just like we need the people to like get on board too, and
to believe in the dream.
To believe in the dream, and also to more of like be open to the dream. I feel like they're like you said, you have certain expectations and stuff like that when you like come on, or like when you do something and you're like, oh, I'm not all that guy, I'm just from New Mexico, and it's like I mean, that really doesn't matter. Like,
what do you mean, just from New Mexico?
yeah, truly,
Yeah.
like
Neil
it's
Patrick Harris is from New Mexico.
yeah, and so many people are from New Mexico.
Yeah.
The guy made Beavis and Butthead. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Bill Gates came through here and tried to
football
do
players,
football players, Exhibit, they got Macklemore. I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about like the amount of people from here. But
Right.
one thing that I hope to do as much as I can is like continue to like push Albuquerque and New Mexico, but without it being like, I don't know, like I'm not like trying to just be like an Albuquerque rapper, which I'm not like ashamed to be an Albuquerque rapper, but at this point it's really cool to like reach out to these artists that I've like come in contact through over social media who I don't actually know as deeply as I might people from here, but they're from somewhere that has more going on in their mind or in people's minds from here, and then like seeing that dichotomy isn't that much crazier than here, you know, and so just like focus on whatever you love, your craft, and craft it, you know, and just enjoy it, because like you said, if you don't enjoy the journey, then there's no point for it, and you got to know why you're on the journey, like you said, like what's the why. If you don't have a reason for it, and the reason isn't something you like believe in, then I don't think it's something that you should do with your full heart until you are with your full heart with it.
Until you have the passion.
Yeah, until you find that passion again. And honestly, that's kind of what this whole like next project and everything is about, is like how everyone's passion is imminent, and like how something is going to happen no matter what you believe, and love is something that will be a huge role in that. It's just you have to be open, and you have to know, and then you have to be ready to sit with it and just work, because like it's not gonna just come. You can't just sit there and like one of the
manifesting
things,
only goes so far. You
exactly.
can manifest, but if you don't manifest your next step
then
and actually step it,
then you're just dreaming. And you gotta do something to make the dreams reality, and so
make those dreams up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, alive,
truly, because I think that's something that I've discovered and kind of come across like in the ways that I never thought I would have. Like I didn't think I was doing music or even just writing for the wrong reasons, and slowly throughout like these past 3 years, it's like there were certain times where I was like doing it for the wrong reasons, like either for like validation. Like honestly, like a big part of when I got really into like rhythm and poetry, I was obsessed with like wordplay and like just very lyrical rhythmic music, and like I couldn't believe how well I was able to like transfer my poetry into rap.
Right.
But like
when did you first start writing?
I started writing
like
when I was young, but like I don't remember the exact age, but like realizing a lot of like what I would do, like I'd be like in my room when I was like a little kid, like creating like crazy stories and stuff with my action figures, and like I didn't realize how deep it was until later, and then I ended up reading a series of books in like my freshman year, I think, or sophomore, maybe junior actually, but anyways, I read a series of books, and it kind of just like, it really just hit me deep, because it was about like
what was the books?
They're called The Land of Tales, or The Land of Stories, or something like that.
Okay.
And it's Chris Colfer. He's like the guy from Glee.
Yeah.
He actually like wrote a great series, and it's like children's book, but like it was really cool because it was like more of a like children's version of like Harry Potter type of thing. But being a Harry Potter fan, it was so much different because I'm also like a Grimm's Brothers fan, and they play off those like a lot. And then especially the second book, or maybe it's the third, but the younger, or like the boy and like the brother of the two like main characters, he like wants to write, but like he's not good at spelling, and his teacher's just like, just do it, and then like the whole book is about him writing short stories, and they end up like coming to life, and like that book is literally the reason I like started like putting my poetry together. Like instead of it just being like journals or diaries or whatever, and then like putting it actually together.
That's amazing though, that like even like a short story or story, right?
Yeah,
that is about somebody writing your story to life. Can you imagine that'd be like your superpower, wouldn't it?
That exactly.
Your
like,
pen would be like.
That's so funny you say that. It's like I'm
Yeah.
huge in like superheroes and stuff, and like growing up, I used to always want like super speed because it's the most underrated power. Like you can do everything and anything. You're unstoppable. But
Right.
at this point, it would definitely be to make my pen like bring life. Like
Bring
that'd be so
life.
crazy. Like you just write a sentence
Like the
and it
purple
happens.
pen.
Like,
Have you
yeah.
seen that little boy, the purple
Yeah,
pencil, right?
That one's crazy.
Oh.
Like, what's that book called? It's just purple,
Yeah,
right?
I think some purple pencil or something
Yeah,
like that. But it's
yeah,
like,
that book
he
is
uses
amazing.
It's
yeah,
fun.
and then the pencil's like actually in the entire book. That book is cool because it brings like the illustration together a lot.
Yeah,
And
like,
that's kind of why I like those.
visual.
Yes, the visuals. It gives you
Yeah.
that like. That's why I like that series is because the covers of the book were like very in detail.
Right.
And they weren't picture books or anything, so it kind of like gave you an idea of
Enough.
what you want to.
Right.
Like in knowing, oh, you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover.
Right.
But it's also that juxtaposition, like we were just talking about how I had a cover like done for the On the Cusp project, and it's just crazy that having a good piece of art as like a cover.
Right.
It
Oh,
definitely
it is a
does.
make or break.
Yeah, it does help so
help,
much,
right.
or like take away so much because it's not you don't judge a book by its cover, but like
A little bit.
it's there.
A little bit.
It's still part of it. Like,
Right,
they still
right.
hired someone to do
So
that.
well, even like an album cover.
Yeah, literally.
Right.
Like,
And
or they
so-
had someone design it, or they tried to do it.
They
like,
try to do it. I've sold, because I do photography and
Yeah.
I paint and stuff, and I've actually sold a photography to an artist.
That's cool.
I can't say who.
Yeah, of
But
course, yeah.
and so, those are really interesting because I remember like them reaching out to me and being like, "Can I use this photograph for album?" And I was like, "Oh, like you want to use my album cover?" And I can say they're in Hawaii, but it was just an interesting thing because it was just like this beautiful flower and the song was like about sadness, and it
Wow.
was this dead flower.
So it's like
The
the
dying
beauty of
rose.
sadness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was this dying rose
Interesting.
photograph,
That's pretty
and
cool.
and I just think that those types of things are so impactful.
Truly.
And I see like there's Bad Omen. I don't know if you know who Bad Omen
Yeah,
is.
the
There's one that was the red cover, and she's like laying down, like
Yeah.
she's nude, right?
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They came here like in 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was actually at that like concert.
Oh, you went to like on the.
Well, I was working at Revel at the time.
Oh, cool.
So I was just there. Yeah.
I love that.
It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's an album cover, where she's nude and she's laying down in it, and it's just like she's defeated. And the whole album is so like that.
Like that's the feeling.
That's the
And
feeling.
it's- you're
And
trying
it's
to
like,
get
yeah.
it across the entire album.
The
That,
whole album, this
that's
is the
what
picture.
you. Yeah,
this
and
is-
see that's kind of cool, and that's why I love the simple covers, like where it's just a picture. Like even like one of my most like I don't know. There's two covers to me in hip hop that like are beyond impactful, and one of them is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, just because he couldn't use the original image, so he just used the blurred version of it and then like made it super small, and it
Right.
was just the red, and like the red.
The Kanye West album.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that album is just so impactful to me, and like that red represents that feeling of like the twisted beauty in like a fantasy, and it's
Right.
like crazy about that. And what's even crazier is it was the first cover that you could switch out. Like there's multiple covers, but if you bought the vinyl, you can like switch them out.
Oh.
And so like literally I bought it, and like there's like 6 covers I think, and each one of them is just a different representation of like that feeling.
Wow.
And it's kind of just like each a fantasy.
Right.
And so it's like these, and then each one's a little more twisted, and there's some that aren't as, and it's pretty cool to
Right.
use that. But then also the juxtaposition to "Damn," where it's just a picture of Kendrick looking like he's stressed out, and it says "Damn" on his shirt.
Damn.
And then it's funny because his mom texts him. And
Oh,
goes,
not Kanye.
no,
Kendrick.
yeah, this is Kendrick.
Kendrick,
Kendrick,
yeah,
Kendrick,
yeah,
yeah. And it's funny, but like I'm just saying, like the juxtaposition to a deeply like thought out cover to like it's still simple to also like his where it's just one photograph, and he even says he's like I don't know if I should have done it like that. And then his mom texts him or something. I think it was on Big Boy, and he was like, "Did your mom actually text you?" And she's like, "Yeah, it looked like you. Your dad said it looked like you were stressed out in the album cover." And I said, "Well, yeah, that's the point."
That's the
And like so,
point,
even his
yeah.
mom like understood like that's like a representation of what you're actually going to be giving
Yeah.
to the listener or to the
Exactly.
reader, and so that's why that impacted me so much. And writing poetry at first, I didn't have that. Like when I went from just writing gibberish to putting it into poetry, I didn't have a cover to
Right.
represent it or anything like that.
You were the cover in your mind.
Yeah,
your
exactly. My
was.
mind was, and I would draw up images in my mind, and like when that started to happen, that's when it drew into more of like music, and that's when I would like see music more and see covers more.
Right.
And I've always really been a huge fan of music, and I used to play piano and guitar, but I didn't ever like grasp the gist of it or how much it's helped me throughout my life
Right.
until like this. I think it was my senior year, or no, it was my freshman year at UNM, and it was like my first semester there, and it was like the first day of I just saw like there was a hip hop course I was telling you about, and I was like, that's cool, you could study hip hop, and the first day like I just fell in love with hip hop. Like,
Right.
and I've been in love with
I
hip
love
hop, but I
that.
just didn't realize it. And it's like, it just like opened the doors and it's like, yeah, remember that? And I was like, whoa, yeah, holy cow, I forgot. Like, that's why I love it. And it's cool reading about it, learning about it, and then like seeing, like you said, all of the art and the emotions that go into it
Right.
is something that creates like such a beautiful culture. And like I was saying, even the breakdancing and the graffiti and stuff like
That's
that.
all part of it.
It's so, yeah, it's so cool to see it like fully evolve 50 years later into something like this where it's still evolving and like people are still changing the genre and it's like
Right.
adding to the genre. And, like, I think that's really cool, and like that's why I used to be so like I wanted validation for how well I wrote and like my pen, but at this point I've come to realize like it's truly not that for that. Like, I was able to write amazing things and it was really cool, but I didn't grasp the actual messages behind some of them until like I took it away from what I thought that project should have been, you know?
Right.
I have a CD that's like an CD exclusive now because like I kind of took it down. And it was like one of my first like albums, and I put it out like under Alter Egos, but it's called Highs and Lows, and it's like basically an album that consists of that. But I didn't feel every song. Like, I felt like I was so happy to be working on my first album.
Right.
I was adding like filler songs, like what I
Right.
liked hearing, you know,
What you
and
like
which is
hearing,
cool.
right.
But you got to do that with the actual love and the emotion and the passion.
And the whole
Otherwise, then
thing.
it's just
Right.
kind of like a sporadic thing, and otherwise it's not like a consecutive project without it being consecutive. Like, one of my favorite projects that I just heard, like a recent project, is a Casino by Baby Keem, and I was dumbfounded by the production as always, but the song I Am Not a Lyricist was just such a deep song to me because, one, holy cow, at the end he literally spit like Andre. I was like, oh my god, it was crazy. I never knew he I knew he could rap crazy, but I didn't know he could like almost out dot. I was like, yo, what the, but and that's his cousin, yeah. So like, it's kind of yeah, and that's what he says in the whole song. Is like, I'm not a lyricist, and the biggest line is like, I'm not a lyricist. I'm just a bastard child put here to experience.
Wow.
And he's like, these words are just for my temperament, and like that's kind of crazy to think of that when like I was going through my past projects and stuff like that. I was like, dang, that's true. Like, there's some parts where I was either trying to be a lyricist too much or like I was just trying to be a rapper too much.
Right.
And so like I just had to be me, and like a certain amount of those songs, which happen to be the songs that like when I would show people, they'd be like, oh, that one's pretty cool. But like, you know, like between like a group of work that you're showing someone, they're like, I like that one. It was always like these certain songs that I kind of was like, I really like it, but like I don't know.
Right.
Because like I feel like it's too me.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, or just too much me, and like I don't want people to like know me. I want people to know the music, but like.
But knowing
they gotta
you
know me.
is the music.
Yeah.
Like, you are. What I've learned too is like people gravitate to musicians and artists that are real. Like, that are really who they are. Like, that's why that people follow Cardi B, because she is so like real. Like, she's like that. She's like that, and she has a following and a fan base because she's kind. And because she wants to spread a message, right? Or snow the product. Like, I just went to snow the product at Revel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was there, or I didn't stay for the concert, but that's cool.
Right.
That's
It was so cool.
She seems really chill, and I actually saw that like one reel she did, and I was like, that's pretty dope.
Right.
Like,
she asked one of the fans for the Mexican flag and asked to borrow it.
oh, that's what's up.
And was like, can I borrow it for the song? And they're like, yeah. And then she just did this badass like mariachi rap battle thing where she sang around, and it was incredible.
That's pretty cool.
In Spanish.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, and like it's crazy. And then she's bilingual, so she sings English, Spanish,
that's
both,
cool.
you know. But these characters, and I call them characters because they make a persona.
They do, yeah.
The rapper is a persona, right? You know, like I talk about Tupac all the time, you know, and it's like Tupac was a persona. He wasn't like that. Like, his character wasn't this hard ass man. Not the real Tupac, right?
No,
but
it's true.
but in the reality of who Tupac made us think he was,
Yeah.
we all were like, whoa, yeah. That.
Even Biggie. Yeah,
Even
no,
Biggie.
You're right, yeah.
It's a persona that we fall in
Biggie's
love
nerd.
with. Yeah, big old nerd, right? And I love it. And it's like, I have a persona with my, you know, modeling and stuff too. And it's like, these characters are, you know, not to say that I'm not famous, I'm not.
Yeah.
But that's how it becomes.
Exactly.
It starts
You're
off
building
because
that
you're
character.
building that character. And people want to know more about these people, and knowing more makes people care.
Truly,
and
seeing that speech of Tupac, like vulnerability.
I saw this.
That's why I liked his music again. Because honestly, that's a deep thing to me. Is like, I love realness in the music, and I didn't realize how much that impacted me and how much I wanted to impact people with that. But one of my like most like influential artists is Doom, and he's just like the epitome of like, he's an actual nerd that like did not want to be a rapper and was rapping for fun, almost made that a big thing, and then the industry killed his brother, and he's like, okay, now you guys made a villain. And his whole mission was, like you said, he created the persona of the villain, but the whole time in his raps, he's like, but I'm not that. Like, I'm just a nerd, but I happen to be amazing with words. And it's like, that's what makes hip-hop hip-hop.
That's
and
what
like,
makes it. You take what you are, and you build something from that.
Exactly.
And
building that character.
You build your character, yeah. And it's something really cool. I saw something about vulnerability in F. He did an interview, right?
Yeah.
He did an interview, and he was like, yeah, I was like singing in all my songs, like, I need to go to therapy, I need to go to therapy. And he's like, so I should probably go to therapy. And so it's like, and I love NF. I'm a huge fan of him. He's so vulnerable. I actually got sober because of one of his songs. Literally.
Wow. Well, he did too. Yeah, that's
yeah,
so cool.
And so there's this song. Gosh, what is it called? I'll look it up.
Is it in the one where he's in the house?
Yeah, well, the girl, the mother and the daughter.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And it's like
his albums are very, very
intense, and like the pain that I feel from him, like, you know, and like he talks about vulnerability and
it's like he's talking to you.
He's talking to him. Dude, as far as I know, I'm friends with NF. Like,
exactly,
and it's because he's my friend. Because you know why? Because he told me how sad he is, and I am too. And like he told me about like how bad his addictions were, and I was like, damn, I relate to that. And that's what people want.
And he showed you a path through without like being a preacher.
Yeah, he didn't preach at me and tell me get your shit right, you know, like. But what he told me is like, here's my story, so to help yours.
As a good preacher should.
As a good preacher should, right? But he tells you he tells me here's my story. He speaks from his perspective. He speaks from or other people's.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he uses.
Yeah, he uses storylines, you know,
that's really
from
cool.
other, and I love that. I'm actually a big Atmosphere fan too. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, I love Atmosphere.
Love Atmosphere Slug, and he's a big storyteller.
Very much so. Yeah.
And I love storytelling music. I'm very passionate about storytelling.
Which one do you like more, Slug or Ant? I know it's like hard to decipher because.
So I just met Ant.
No way.
I got an autograph from him at Atmosphere. He was there too, and I just got a
way.
photograph with him.
That's pretty
and
cool.
I didn't get to meet Slug.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm gonna say Ant, because of the instrumentals.
Yeah.
To hear the violin, like in my glass house, that song, and just hearing these. The first time I ever heard a piano and violin in a rap song was in her glass house.
Yeah.
And I remember like crying, like holy shit.
And they really blend well together.
It
and that's
blended.
one thing,
It was gorgeous. Like it was like I was listening to a quartet of rap, and it was like, what is this?
That's a beautiful analogy, like or representation of it, like a quartet. Because honestly, that's like. It's what it is, or like a bouquet of flowers, like a bunch of different, like
gorgeous.
Very specific things putting together, and like that's likeable to anything, like which is pretty cool that someone in music helped you find stuff outside of music, because like some of the coolest stories or some of the coolest messages that these rappers or artists or characters be preaching is like something that can draw outside of the music. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I love how Kanye was like. I didn't think it was gonna go crazy, but he's like, my boss told me something is like something, but wait till I get money, then you can't tell me nothing. Yeah. And it's like that's what everyone like low key is feeling, you know. And like they're just like when someone their boss is telling them stuff, and it's like just wait, and that's something that you can feel in anything, and so. With those types of like vibes or relatable energies in music is something so impactful, and like also you used that while I was like driving over here, impactful, and like that's kind of like one of the messages across this next imminent journey in world is impact is imminent, like it's impending, it's bound to happen, it's on the way, like it's on the cusp, but it's something that is interesting because everyone has that feeling and everyone's in that feeling, whether it be for love or their passion or whatever it might be. Or addiction, you know, it's something that you're so close to that if you let the doubt and you let the fear and even the anger from not being there yet get in the way of getting there, then the whole journey was for nothing, and you're never going to get there without understanding it's a journey. And
Exactly.
I think that's what, like, it's cool when you said that, like, learning the why and, like, what's the journey and all that.
Right.
That's the whole point, and, like, I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for, like, the comic books or the dinosaurs or the this or that, you know what I mean? It's,
Exactly.
like, all
Yeah.
that, like,
Yeah.
that turned me into me, and, like, or even, like, I wouldn't be me without wanting to be someone different at a point in my life, you know what I mean? Like, going through middle school was the first time, like, I thought I should be someone else, like, you know, like,
Right.
not like someone else, but like, I
You were in the
didn't know
wrong
who I
body.
was.
You were like,
Yeah.
who am I? And then
Or,
you have
yeah,
to start
truly.
mirroring other people.
Exactly. Mirroring other people is something that I'm so glad I don't do anymore, and so hopeful that I can help others get away from, because it's something that I see so much more, or so happening so much more, especially in this day and age with, like, social media.
Right.
And, like, comparisons and, like, judging and stuff like that, and, like, as humans we're predisposed to being judgmental, but, like, you gotta take it with a grain of salt and not, like,
Right.
judge the person, but judge merit. You gotta judge character and stuff like that, but
Right.
not, like, for nothing. It's just for the, like you said, the story behind this person. Like, you're not judging them, you're just learning. And I think
Right.
that's something we need to, like, decipher those words. Is like, a judgmental thought is a judgmental thought, but
Right.
a curious thought is something totally different. And
Right.
it's like wanting to
Curiosity is a different thing, and I think it's important to be curious, but also, like, what I learned too in my experience, like, you know, I have, like, a lot of tattoos and stuff, and people are like, oh, I always hate it when people are like, oh, did that hurt, or, you know, and it's like, I actually am not irritated anymore. My grandmother was very, like, anti-tattoos when I first started getting them.
Oh.
And so I started getting, like, tattoos that had, like, stones on them and gems, because she was a big gem person. She liked stones.
to, like, make her
Make
feel
her happier. And so I'd put, like, really beautiful filigree or more elegant stuff.
Yeah.
And so when she saw it, she'd be like, well, that's actually very pretty. And so it changed my mind. And then I realized that a lot of people are afraid of what they don't know.
Yeah.
And so when people approach me, because I'm a very approached person, I am a very, you know, and so when people approach me and they ask me about my hair, or they ask me about my tattoos, or they ask me, I actually am very, very, I try to accept them, like, for the fact that they don't know. They're genuinely asking. If they want to know, I'll answer it. Like, you know, if you go into the world with kindness for the day, you're going to find kindness. And if you go into the world, wreaking havoc and wanting chaos, you're gonna find it.
Yeah,
like,
truly. And that's why the people that think that they are just being curious, but have a predisposition to something in their heart or gut, that's how you know.
Right.
Like, you'll feel that. Like,
Right.
like, if you, I'm sure you have. I have too. Like, with the tattoos, even in the past, I have felt like someone be like, "Oh, did that hurt?" Like, "Oh, they're cute. They want to get a tattoo right there." Like,
Right.
I've done that to people. But then I've had people ask me where it's like, "Oh, did that hurt?" And you
Right.
can just hear it, or you can just feel it.
There's,
and
like,
it's
a tone.
yeah, it's just
tone
like
about
energy.
it.
Yeah, it's definitely
Right.
just different, and they're not like curious for the sake of curiosity or for the sake of, like, learning more. They're just curious because, like, they want to have more, like, maybe
Elevation
yeah,
or
elevation,
something,
or just
feel
like put them in a
better.
different state of their judgment, like
Yeah.
feel valid of their judgment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they judge the
Yes.
tattoos and then they're like, "Oh, did it hurt?" Yeah, that's why I don't do tattoos. And it's like, it validates what
It
they
does
prejudged
hurt.
to,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And so it's kind of like, it's a really hard broken cycle that, like, a lot of people get stuck swimming in, and I've been stuck swimming in it. And I actually mentioned that a lot, being a Pisces. Like, I like love the idea of swimming in circles, and we kind of are all swimming in circles in one way or the other, in a different way or world. But the best way is just to take a breather, sit down with your passion, your love, and just be like, all right, let me analyze what I could do for me and what that could do for what I want to do.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit more about eminent. What is eminent?
So-
yeah.
That's a great question. So
Yeah.
imminent is a word. No, I'm just joking.
Ah!
Imminent is a world, actually, that I created, and it's or Matanomi. That's like this my brand. But I basically, since I was young, have always been infatuated with nature comics, dinosaurs, like reading and like knowledge at a level of like you do it yourself. Like I hate it when teachers be like, you gotta read, and that's what like kind of like pushed me away from reading at times. But it's hard to do that.
It wasn't what you wanted to read.
Yeah, but you gotta look past that as a kid, and like it's hard to as a kid. So like I understand it now, but I basically had all this stuff building up, and like I was telling you, I started realizing I was rapping or writing for the approval of people I respected to respect my pen, or to respect my cadence, or to respect my flow, or whatever. And I thought that was like my mission. But there's a difference between when Kendrick or Kobe are mentioning how they want to be the best from wanting the best to tell you you're the best.
Right.
Like if you want to be the best, that's awesome and go as hard as you can, but you got to do it for you, telling you at the end of the day you're the best. Not anyone else that you think is better than you telling you you're the best. Because then that's when you get an actual ego, and that's when you start to like do it for the wrong reasons. And it's exactly what I did, and I realized that, and then I started getting small opportunities to just design more, and I really like designing like clothes and stuff like that. So I started like just doing little things, and then it kind of like veered away from music, and I was just writing. And then I met my girlfriend I'm with now. Her name's Victoria, and I was not looking for a relationship. I was like kind of honestly like not against it, but like I was just like I just don't want to be in a relationship right now. I don't feel I'm ready. And it was one of those times where I could not. You know, I didn't ask to fall, but I did fall in love, and so that hit me hard. And being like so, like I've always been a lover boy, so like finally being like, no, I want to be alone, and being happy being alone, and then getting hit, that's when I realized like, okay, so
That's
everything was kind of.
He got me just the same way.
Really?
Yeah, we were both the same.
You're finally trying to be you, and so it's like I think that's when you find the most love in your life, or you find the love you need in your life. And basically, Imminent is a accumulation of projects. Asteroids is an EP. It's basically a love letter to my girlfriend, and asteroids in this world represent love. So asteroids are imminent to hit. What is interesting about it is the second part of it is Dinosaur, and it's a single that's a 3-song single that just came out with Tony Too Smooth and Isaiah. Shout out, they're amazing artists. Basically, that is more about rap.
Right.
And that's basically saying that I lost my passion and love for rap and writing and hip hop, and she helped me find that again through love. So the asteroids of love are imminent to hit your passion, which is the dinosaur. But what you need to do is ride it, because what a dinosaur is it's like a lizard, but it's kind of disguising itself as something that's really cool and nostalgic.
Right.
But it could really be very dangerous
Harmful,
if you don't.
yeah.
If you don't work with it.
Right.
Like if you're against it or trying to like you know, like people are, like you got to work with the industry you're passionate with, to the degree of like working with it the way you want to. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's basically what it is. There's like a rider. I'll show you this little picture real quick, but. That's like the main cover, and it's basically just like the writer writing it, and so that's the.
We'll get
character.
your link too, and we can make a little thing on the. We'll put it in the.
Oh, okay,
podcast,
yeah. Click right here. No.
Yeah. We'll put it
here.
down here. Yeah, we'll put
bottom.
the handle. Yeah, it'll be at the end of the podcast.
Okay, no,
Yeah,
that's dope. Sorry, I accidentally let it go.
That's okay.
But yeah, so it's basically a project that implements all of that. Right now, we're in the midst of the single and the EP being out. And those I didn't push the way I pushed projects in the past, and it was more because of how much I loved it, and like the EP being really like a love letter. Oh, and the reason that EP is so much like a love letter, and it's like pretty much all just like love songs, is because I actually found my love for music again by writing up some of those originally like almost 2 years ago.
Wow.
So when I met her, I just started like I couldn't stop like writing and freestyling like when I'd hear melodies and stuff. And I wrote like
she
some
gave you like
beautiful,
the passion.
yeah.
She's your muse.
She's well. That's the thing is,
yeah,
I don't like to say that because I love her, and I've told her that
she's
my muse is music.
Right.
I just lost my muse, and she's the love that helped me find that.
I love that.
And so that's why I think we need to draw those barriers, because if you deem someone as your muse,
it puts them on a.
It puts you're putting so much pressure on them, and then also you're also not gonna be like a good person to them when they're not being musy.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right. No, that's
So, like,
true. Like her, you
yeah.
expectations.
So like I can't be mean to like music. If I am, I'm just
Right.
making mean some mad song.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
hey, where you
No,
at,
you're great,
music?
though.
Like
No,
I
you're
love you,
great.
but then it
Yeah.
comes back. Yeah, and so
Right.
that's why I think a lot of people need to find the muse is their love for
Their
the
passion.
thing they truly. Yeah, their passion, their love for passion. That's their muse, and like it's not always music.
But
It's
she
not always writing.
inspires you then.
Exactly.
That's
you need
a
to
better
find
way.
and be open to those asteroids
I
of
love
love.
that.
And
But how long have you guys been together?
Since September of 20. Fuck, I forgot what year. Sorry. Like not this last September, but the year before. So
Cool. So almost 3 years.
4.
Two and a half issues.
Yeah. Or no, almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
So
got
this
it.
September will be 2 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I don't know why that was, the time frame between like all my music and stuff is so confusing to me sometimes
Right.
because there was times where I wrote and tried to put out so much at once, and then there was times where I kind of was just like on the lows of the bipolar, and so it was like kind of just like being a bum and stuff like that. But yeah, so this is actually. If you wanted to go into the show and tell at any moment, let me know.
Yes, I'm ready for show and tell.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So basically, talking about Imminent. This is what
And
I
you can
wanted
show
to
the
show.
screen,
Yeah.
so show the camera, the big one. You could just walk. You can walk it up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Bet.
And then.
So basically, this is the website. Go check it out. It's gonna be hard to move it, but you got some merch. You got some lore. It's hard to see it. I don't know if it'll zoom in. And then down here, we have an amazing thing that we're doing right now, and it is Good Fridays. So speaking of Kanye and all that, he gave me a great idea because when I was getting lost, I was very, very much listening to watching movies with the sound off on vinyl by Mac Miller and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Loves Mac Miller.
Yeah, no, he's definitely I'd probably say it's like Doom, Mac, and Kanye are like my top 3 most influential artists, but it's hard to say that because Andre 3000 is someone that's very very influential to me, but also so is like Redman and ODB because like I'm very like kind of crazy sometimes, and like they like made that like weird rap like.
Well, we talk about personas again too.
Yeah. Literally, that's why I like Wu-Tang as a whole is because it was like so many personas in one song, and that's actually probably the most influential to me because when I started, I literally created 7 characters. So I have 7 different like alter egos. One's Julius Herc, that was the first one. Then Melvin, and then there's Joe Below, and then there's Thomas the Brain, and then there's Jerry, and then Peter Parker, the producer, is just like the guy that is like doing as much as he can with what he doesn't know already. Because I don't know much about production, so I'm trying to teach myself as much as I can. But I also have an amazing support system, and I'm happy and blessed to be in the presence of some amazing people and artists that are willing to give me time and help me, and I just couldn't be more appreciative. So thank you, all you guys who know you are. And I am now just Xaeviur. So basically, the point of Asteroids was Joe Below was the first one's Julius Herc, and he was like the ego. So like since I kind of wasn't aware that I was wanting to be like a rapper, I did it a little too much, and like so I was like, okay, let me just use Julius Herc, and then it'll be okay. But it just didn't like hit right, and like there were certain things I didn't fully love about the character, but he embodies so much that goes through this music and this project. But anyways, him and Melvin are basically the highs and lows. So he's like the one that's like, yeah, I'm all sick, and Melvin's like the one that's like, I'm nothing, but I'm crazy, and like I have to wear a mask because I'm probably gonna like do something bad. And that's basically what happened. Is I was a combination of those 2 characters without implementing the 4th character, Joe Below, and Joe Below quickly ended up becoming the actual alter ego, and the other ones were just characters. And Joe Below represented everything, like the work that I put in that no one wants to talk about, like I work at Subway type thing, like I go and work 40 hours at Chiba, I go work at Poke, you know, this type of things, like
the grind.
the grind. He's like very much, and he's the only one that's like okay with it, like he knows we need to do that, and like I feel like that's like with everyone, there's a piece of you that's like, okay, I have to go to work, and I have to work my ass off. And then there's the other voices that are like, nah, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. He's like, nah. And so it's like, that's him. But it's usually that voice or that like part of you that is the lover boy or is the dreamer and is the one that just truly wants the most out of life.
They see the most.
Yeah, and sees the most out of life. Exactly. And he quickly became the best rapper out of all the voices, and I was like, whoa. And I was writing things with him, and it was like, what the heck? And I basically made him into like the alter ego, and he like one time said he was the best rapper alive or something like that, and then I was like, whoa, why did like that's crazy? That's like the one that's like supposed to like put in the work and be humble.
Right.
But then like Kendrick is the one that puts in the work and be humble. He also says he's the best rapper alive, so he quickly became like a representation of like a lot of the rappers I looked up to. And after seeing all that and then feeling like that's the only way I'd actually hit, it kind of like that's what hit me as a curve, and I was like, man, I don't want to just be someone else, like another version, blah 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 blah. Then I met my girlfriend, blah blah blah. The asteroids hit, and that's love. So Joe Below finally found love, and when he was writing those songs, there's some crazy verses, and like it's like beautiful, and like I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy. But what I didn't realize back then is that was his suicide note. Like he's found his love, so like he's not a character anymore. He's done. And I killed my ego, so now I hurt because already kind of been dead. And then like Melvin is just a voice that is recognized through something that we don't have to be, but we feel like we are. And so each voice became another character I created named Zell, and that was my complete alter ego because he like killed Joe Below. He was like, you found love, boom, you done, boy. You done. And now it's him, and he's actually like the best, but he's also the one that does, like, he hasn't said it himself, he just says like he's like, he says it in like very profound ways. Like in one song he's like, hi, I'm Zell, and I'll leave your favorite rapper in a well if they think they're this well. And it's like, it's just a way to like kind of, and it's not like that, but like I was just trying to like word it out. It's much better. But it's a way to like kind of represent every character and realize that I am each one just as me. So like me and Zell are just like it, but then with Zell in Dinosaur, that's like his thing. So it's Joe Below, suicide note, and then Zell's suicide note, not realizing it was a suicide note. Like he thinks he's like, this is my like first time going up to the, like that's kind of like his debut. Besides, he was really big on the cusp, but he kind of is interesting because he's now just fully, and so like some of the songs on the cusp, when I would like sing or like have like not as much of a rappy voice, it was me. And then like when I was oops, sorry, I didn't hit that. I thought that was my, it was me. And then when I was rapping a little more, I had the mask on.
Right.
And in this project, it was opposite. So like when I was like, come on everybody, move your hips, shake to the rhythm, do it like this, I was wearing the mask. And then when I was like, hi, I'm Zell, I was not wearing the mask. So saying I am Zell, like just like Kendrick is K-Dot. Like I'm not like two different people anymore. I'm not all these different. It's just me. And so now Zell is just like my alter ego. And I might mention the other characters if I like do it, but they're all accumulation of Zell. So that's what Eminem is like he's, if you could see, that's actually him. So he's the writer. Like he's the, and he represents the, he's actually not me. Like I just said, Zell's me now, but in the cover he represents the version of him that wasn't me. So he's the listener actually. And I'm actually the fly that only appears on asteroids. So if you go to like listen to the lens, it shows the covers. So that is the only part I appear in, because that's like me dying, so like Joe Below and shit. And then like that's the dinosaur cover that just came out, and then that's basically like the final cover for the, which actually is something interesting. It's gonna break off in a new, because I don't.
I love the storytelling here.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's really beautiful because I'm a sucker for storytelling. Like obviously we were just talking about that, and so I love multi-series storytelling. There's something very intriguing about it because there's gonna be more.
Exactly.
Like, there's gonna be more, and it's so funny because that's very much comic book and very comic book of you.
Thank you.
Which I like, and so because I'm a nerd too, and
that's
so.
Awesome.
When I hear about this, it makes me excited because it's like, cool, I can listen to this whole album, you know, collect merch even, you know, which is cool. And then there's a second series that'll come out that's like,
just a piece like that adds
just
on,
a piece
or
that
like
adds
that you're
on.
waiting for.
Yeah,
it's actually crazy that you say
it's
that.
very teasing. It's very alluring, and I like that.
Thank you. I like
think
that.
Is there any, so the last part I always ask in my podcast, okay? And so we've really covered a lot, and I love it. You're such a like deep person too, and
Thank
I love
you.
that.
Try not to be as deep sometimes.
No, don't do. Don't change that. That's
No,
like that's
thank
like
you.
as we talked about at the beginning too. Like we don't change for other people; we change for ourselves. It's important to not dilute yourself, because sometimes we dilute ourselves, and we dilute ourselves because we're worried that someone's gonna maybe like not like our spicy version, you know?
Or it's gonna be too much.
It's gonna be too much. Yeah, that's always what it is. It's too much. But honestly, anybody worth being around should never feel too much about you, and so you should give 100% you all the time. You know what I mean? You should. Yeah, never dilute yourself.
And I agree. Honestly, that's a good message for anyone else.
Good for everyone. Don't ever dilute yourself. You know, be 100% authentic. Anybody worth being around is gonna want to be around you. You know, and they'll
stick around too.
Stick around too.
And if like at times like there's life for everyone. So like if they seem like they're not sticking around, don't like unless they tell you like, you know, otherwise it's bound to just come around. You know, everyone's going through their own stuff. Everyone has to go through being a human themselves. So that's like what this project is, and it is truly for the listener. And the merch is as well. Like she was saying, it's cool to collect the merch because each piece of merch actually plants a tree and removes 3 bottles from the ocean. So you also can go right now online and donate to the fund for Good Fridays, where it will all go towards the planting of trees and removing of plastic. And we will be entering everyone that does one purchase of a $1 single and reposts 3 posters. You will be entered into a giveaway, and we're going to have a bunch of sponsors. They're starting to build up, and we're going to do a little like raffle type thing. And each person that has done that will get into that and get that with also knowing you made an impact.
I love that.
That's the whole point of this project. So yeah, really, I just like loving nature. Like as a kid, it's cool to like connect back to that, because I feel like I was like so much in the, like I was saying, like the process without like realizing like, oh my God, like you said, the death of a flower can spawn such a thought from your picture. So like seeing that, you can't see that from like, I mean, you might see it on the album cover, you might see, but it's beautiful to see it in real life.
Right, absolutely.
It's great to be in nature, and we gotta do as much as we can to keep nature beautiful.
I 100% agree with you. So what the last question I always ask on every episode is if you could speak to any age demographic, any group of people, you know, just say that this podcast just hits like million, we go viral, dog. That'd be sick, right?
That would be amazing.
So so just say that. So if you could talk to anybody, you know, any platform, any demographic, you know, what would you tell them? You know, what would be your message?
Honestly, I wouldn't be able to put a demographic into a box on age, because realizing that people have so many similarities in different age groups, like throughout my journey, it's been something that you got to just be open to the idea that we all are going through something, and it could very much well be similar. But no matter what you're going through, whatever you love and whatever you're passionate about is imminent. And just put in that work and find you, be happy, and live your truth, and just be truthful as much as you can, because it really does feel good and so much better. But yeah, that's what I would have to say.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Xaeviur, for coming on, and I appreciate the time. And
heck yeah, I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, and we will see you next time on our next episode of Lie in Bed. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Thanks.